Should we be worried about Lululemon here, given the recent heinous action in the stock and the constant worrying of the analyst community that athleisure has peaked? 3 weeks ago, the yoga-inspired apparel chain reported what was widely regarded as a suboptimal quarter. Stock got taken to the woodshed, down 10% in a single session, and it's continued to be hammered ever since. What was so wrong with the quarter? Lulu delivered in-line earnings with also slightly weaker than expected revenue, 4% same-store sales growth. But Wall Street was looking for a stronger 5.8% increase. At the same time, while management raised guidance, they didn't raise their forecast as much as the analysts have been hoping they would. In short, it was an okay quarter. But when you're dealing with a high-flying growth stock, anything less than a flat-out beat is considered a major disappointment, hence the huge drubbing in the stock. However, even after the decline, Lulu's still up 25% year to date. So I think it's probably worth drilling down into what really happened here. Because if the story's intact, you just might be getting a rare opportunity to buy a high-quality growth story at a major discount to where it was trading just a month ago. Now, earlier today, I got a chance to go straight to the horse's mouth and check in with Laurent Potdevin. He's the CEO of Lululemon. Take a look. Laurent, one of the things that I want to get done right at the top is that you are not a traditional retailer. And if I use traditional methods, I may miss a longer-term, bigger story. I want to give the floor to you to explain that it's not just apparel.
Well, it's so much more than, it's so much more than apparel, right? It's about people. And so when you think about Lululemon and its history, it's an investment in people, giving them their best life, personal development, and creating incredible product that allows them to live their life. So it's driven by function, and you've said it really well, it's actually a metaphor for how people want to live their life.
Well, it's a lifestyle that happens to be, that apparel's part of.
The product allows us to connect people, but it's so much bigger than the product, right? So think about people living their life. It's really a combination of the evolution of athleticism and mindfulness coming together. And when you think about that, we actually sit in a really unique position where we marry function and fashion beautifully.
All right, now, there's ways to pigeonhole you. We can look at comparable stores sales, that's one way, and they have decelerated. We could look at it as athleisure and say that is peaked. Or we can say you're basically not bound by those because they're missing the bigger picture. And I'd like you to explain to the critics, the people who have downgraded your stock saying this whole movement is peaked, that maybe that's just a not accurate depiction of where you're going.
Well, I think it's actually a very narrow way of looking at the picture, right? You think about millennial and you think about Generation Y and Z, they attach themselves to purpose-driven brand. So we launched our social impact yesterday at CGI, and it's our ability to do well and do good as a brand, which means so much to people. It creates effortless loyalty with our guests. It creates incredible retention with our employees. I get more thank you notes from our employees launching this program than when we pay bonuses. And it's a huge, huge part of what's putting us in a position today where we've got the lowest turnover since the brand was created in 1998. So it's amazing product, this permission to play.
Okay.
But we're really supporting a lifestyle that we feel is timeless across gender and around the globe.
All right, so what do we say to the critics who say, listen, you're a one-trick pony and that there's athleisure stores all over these blocks that we are in the Flatiron District?
Well, think about Boston Marathon. Guys and women running under 3 hours, and we had the biggest increase in market share, right? So, that speaks for the product. Think about our ABC pants. Think about our, how you can live your life in our product from morning to night, whether you're riding to work or whether you're at the gym, whether you're sweating or whether you're meditating. It's so much bigger than that. And so when you think about our global expansion across gender, categories, and regions, the sky's really the limit. It's up to us to really prioritize those opportunities as we roll them out.
I want to go back to a term that I think that older people, older analysts don't get or sneer at, that actually attracts incredible people, like people from Nike who work here. Mindfulness. Because I say that because as someone who is older generation but listens to younger people, this is something that they're drawn to, and if you don't get into what they're drawn to, you're going to miss the next generation's shopping.
Totally. Well, think about yoga and mindfulness, right? It's obviously we were started as a yoga company. It's still at the roots of what we do, but people go from yoga and discover other aspects of the brand, but we also have runners, CrossFitters that actually discover yoga and meditation through their interaction with the brand. So, it's a trend that's not going anywhere. And we actually see yoga, the practice of yoga and meditation is such an integral part of where the world is going. It builds resilience to deal with all aspects of your life. And it's a big part of our social impact program.
Okay, so with this, if you're someone at home and you want to just look at an analyst report, like a Jefferies report where they downgrade saying that this business has peaked, obviously that would be a reason at 66, whatever, to say I don't want to be in it. But the things you're talking about are very hard to grasp because we can't put a divisor to it. We can't use a spreadsheet. And yet you're saying that somehow it's going to produce better earnings down the road?
It absolutely will. I mean, think about the effortless loyalty that we've got with our guests, right? I mean, everything we do is driven by innovation. So when you think about everything we do, everything starts with function. So if we don't solve a problem for the athlete, and if we're not proud of the product, we don't do it. And every time we drive innovation, whether it's in our to and from product or whether it's in our sweaty activity product flies off the shelf. So innovation drives who we are. I mean, we've created this market, and we continue to lead this market, but it's driven by innovation, whether it's in product, whether it's in the way we have recently developed digital, or whether it's in the way, in how we think about our international expansion.
Now, my daughter, who's part of the generation you want to reach, doesn't know what to buy me for Father's Day, but says, well, I'll go buy these ABC pants because everyone says they're so comfortable. That's kind of, again, the ethos. The younger people know what people want, and that's innovation, ABC.
And that's really the strengths of the brand, right? I mean, when you think about our decentralized leadership model, it's really giving our store managers, our ambassadors, the autonomy to really have authentic relationship, and we have no endorsement. And so when people speak on behalf of the brand, they speak about their own experience, and that's incredibly powerful.
Now, the notion of unique differentiation at the store is something that you have brought home more than any other people. The store is not a box. There's something else happening here.
It's a community. I mean, if you think about how we go to market, I mean, we've got a light footprint, right? With 370 stores, we've got incredibly productive stores, we've got amazing locations. But when you think about how we go to market, it's incredibly unique. I mean, we engage ourselves in the community. We connect with the most relevant ambassadors. We learn from them. We're curious. And we get pulled into the community. And that's why we've got such amazing stores. And now, with all the work that we've done in the past couple of years from a digital standpoint, we're actually augmenting the power of the stores with digital air cover.
Now, a lot of people say the mall is dead, but you're moving into the mall. So why are you going into a moribund institution?
You know what I mean? I think we've got amazing locations in the mall. The mall's dead is I actually don't think it is. I think digital really augments what we can do in the mall. And if you think about the brands that drive traffic in the mall, I mean, you've got the Louis Vuitton, the Lululemon, and the Tesla of this world. And we're driving traffic. And we've got very successful stores in the malls.
Inventory lean, spend a lot of money to be able to make it so that but your digital is doing well. You were in an investment mode. Is that obscured the power of the earnings?
I mean, think about it. I mean, 2 years ago, you had an organization that had grown exponentially fast, with investments really lagging behind the growth. So the past 2 years, I mean, we've built behind-the-scene infrastructure so that we can support a complex, scalable business. We had no digital strategy. We had no international strategy. And we really evolved from being a founder-led culture to being a high-performance culture. So, I mean, none of that, I would not have been able to achieve any of that without the most amazing management team that I've ever gotten to work with, or that the company's ever had.
Well, let's speak to that. Where are the people coming from? Where are you attracting talent from?
Think about, starting with product. I mean, I appointed Lee Holman, who's got an amazing athletic and fashion background.
From Nike.
And Burberry, as the first creative director for the organization. We've got Stuart, who comes from J.Crew with an amazing retail background. You've got Miguel Almeida leading digital. I mean, it's an incredibly diverse global team. And so with diversity, diversity breeds innovation, right? And being curious and collaborating. I mean, we're really in a position where we're just getting going.
Laurent Potdevin, let's go look around the store, but I want to thank you so much for everything you've done.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Laurent, it's a box, okay? But it really isn't just a box, is it?
Well, it's so much more than a box, right? I mean, I think when you think about what we're best at in the world, I mean, we're best at creating human connections.
Okay.
And so when you think about our decentralized leadership model, the autonomy that we give our people, how we engage with the ambassadors. I mean, we listen, we've got micro antennas all over the world, and we listen to feedback. And so we create amazing experiences, and the retail store happens to be the place where that happens. But we're certainly not constrained by the store. And I would take that one step further, right? I mean, we're driven by innovation, we're relentless, we love it. We create amazing product, we create amazing environments, but our mission is to create experiences for people to live happy, healthy, long lives. So an experience can be a product, an experience can be a service, and it can happen anywhere.
Back to school, holiday season, feeling good?
I'm feeling really good. We've got amazing product coming in. We're ready and really, really pleased.
Many of these CEOs in the business tell me that things are promotional. That does not seem to be the kind of thing that you're talking about today.
You know what, I think that we don't have to be. I mean, as long as we focus on innovation, I mean, every time we focus on innovation and we deliver value to the guest, and I go right back to listening and really fostering a culture of collaboration. When we listen and when we deliver innovation, product flies off the shelf and we see very little price resistance. And that's really the focus.
And when I'm buying and I'm checking out, point of sale or?
Well, point of sweat.
Very good. Laurent Potdevin, thank you so much for showing me around this store. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.